Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NLC Div 2. I promise you, me and M-Test are ready to go and not locked in conversation. M-Test, welcome back. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm alright. We got a bit thrown in. We were in a deep discussion about D&D and the state of TFT and other good things, right? So I mean, I'm ready to kick this off. I'm doing
Yeah,
good, man. I hope you
yeah.
are as well.
I mean, just to boil it down, TFT bad was pretty much the conversation. It's so bad at the moment. I'm not going to get salty about that. I'm going to get excited about the League of Legends we got coming your way. We have 4 games today coming up. So we'll bring up the graphic and go over what games we have to play today. They're going to be pretty good. Hopefully we got that graphic ready, but I'm not sure. I'm saying it and it's not coming up, so I assume it's not ready. So I will take this quick moment actually to talk a little bit about our second game of the day, which will be coming up, which won't be coming up, unfortunately. So our second game of the day is Munster Rugby taking on Rate. Unfortunately, due to the ongoing issues from Tuesday with Munster, they're not able to field a team in time. So as far as I'm aware, it has been suspended for now and kind of pending what's going to be going on internally. We'll figure out a plan for that one. But it does mean, unfortunately, because a lot of our teams didn't have enough time to kind of reschedule themselves, you know, with scrims and practice and work for some people, they weren't able to actually move their games back. So there will unfortunately be a fairly long break after this game before we get into our third game of the day, or our second technically game of the day. So just as a little bit of a polite warning, that's what's going to be coming up here at the NLC. But we'll be starting our day with Nativz versus Guarp. What are our kind of thoughts right now on these teams? Nativz, they're 3-1 right now. I didn't actually check Guarp's standing. Did they beat Rate, right? You know, they lost to Rate. All right, we have the standings. Let's bring the standings up. Let's do that, and then we can go over it. So, sitting at the top, we have Unique. Then we have Rising Dawn, Lightside, Nativz, Munster, Rate are tied up. Well, sorry, Munster and Rate are tied up. Then it's Domino, Guarp, and Lucent, and then London United's 0-4 at the bottom of the standings. M-Test, obviously, we're talking a little bit about those games coming up. Guarp 1-3 right now versus the likes of Nativz who are 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty quite not interesting. I'm quite shocked that Guarp has gotten off to like this bad of a start. It's not looking good for them. I think they really need like at least one victory to get like the kind of a momentum going, because you don't really want to start a split by going like 3 or 4 or even 5 losses like early. I've been a victim of this like so many times, and it's just kind of it can get really tough mentally wise. I mean, I know most of our teams here, they are kind of really happy still, even though they're losing. We talked to Viggo Mopsen on the last broadcast, and even though I think they lost, they were. I mean, he was still having a bit of a laugh. But yeah, getting a victory against Nativz, I think, could be quite hard, because actually this is like one of the teams that I've been most impressed about, at least in the games that I've been watching them. And
Yeah,
I think it could be rough to take them down.
I think you're completely right. Viggo, we had a really good game coming out of them. I mean, it's interesting, kind of harking back to what we saw last week. Sorry, the beginning of this week. You go over to what we were seeing in Div 1 last week. It was very slow-paced games. I've been a little bit.
Okay. I'm not sure if this is only for me. The tip brain just disconnected now, but I'm still here, guys.
Very,
There is.
very. Oh, did I DC?
I think you did,
Oh,
mate.
I'm
Yeah.
back. Hey, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Div 1, unfortunately, fairly slow games. Div 2, very exciting, very fast-paced game. So it felt like a little bit of a Micrometis coming out, seeing a massive amount of the Carthus showing up as well here in Div 2. Something we didn't actually really see that much in Div 1.
Yeah, I mean, right. It was super fun, right? Like we were, as you were mentioning, the Div 1 games that you got to be a part of casting. They were not as fun as the Div 2 ones, because they were super slow. Everyone was just kind of playing for drakes. And while we were seeing the same thing in Div 2, like everyone was trying to stack these drakes kind of early. It was still super like fast paced. Even when we saw the likes of Cartus, we actually saw. I think it was Fat Derel who was like trying to early gank on Cartus and stuff like this. Like these teams do not mess around. They want to fight regardless of. Who they're playing and like what comps they have. So I mean, it's just all good and fun. I remember we talked to, I think it was Snille as well, who is. I think he is the jungler for Nativz, right? I'm not actually 100% sure about all the rosters yet, but we were talking to him anyways, and he said the jungle was just OP. You just pick an AP jungle, you farm, and then you kind of 1v9 the game. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's what we've been seeing so far. So many like so much focus on the jungle and just playing around the farming aspect of that. I mean, it seems to be working out for most teams.
Yeah, sorry, I was just checking what's going on my internet because
No
it
worries.
is, as you can see, I'm jumping in and out. Um, the
Sure.
current state of what we're seeing in this league right now is very different from what we've been seeing elsewhere. I'm excited to see, now that the teams have, played on this patch and had a little bit more experience, what maybe the changes will be from some of these teams, what they might look to, keep the same. I think we're going to see a presence, a higher priority on the Carthus. Interesting things. We only saw the Tilia once. And yes, on Tuesday, whenever we last played. Yes, it's Thursday
Yeah.
now, so it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
When we played on Tuesday, Gwen's still very, very high priority for all of these teams. A lot of people putting a lot of priority on her. So we'll see what the other bans are going to be. But I wonder if these teams have maybe learned something or picked something up from the first day on the durability patch. And just as a quick note, we are on 12.10, not 12.11. So some of these kind of nerfs and like slight adjustments to the durability patch aren't live what we're playing on. So we are playing on, very, very fresh. This is durability patch stuff.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, we heard. I'm not sure if we did it on broadcast. I think Kipren and me talked a bit about that in the before the broadcast. I think this patch is probably the worst version of the two, right? The 12.11. A lot of the
Yeah.
changes coming through. A lot of nerfs. Like the list was just super long. So hopefully it gets better. Maybe next week I think we play on 12.11. So this will
Yes.
be the last week of 12.10. But regardless, I was gonna say that I would be really surprised if Guarp didn't ban card this year because I mean Snilly has completely pop off on it and it looks just strong, super strong overall. But currently they're banning the Talia, which you mentioned. We only saw it once, and it didn't look super convincing. Actually, it was. Oh yeah, I remember now. It was. I don't remember who it was, but oh, it was Yulbo, I think, on the Talia. He was just baiting people perma and kind of sacrificing himself for his team all game long. But actually now, this was nearly talked about as well. Like he said that Cardis is OP, Lilia is OP as well. Like obviously this AP jungle farming, right? And Cardis was open, but they decided to go for the Lilia instead. So Snille showing us a different type of champion this time around, but still an AP one.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of priority on the Lilia, a lot of bans for it last Tuesday or on Tuesday as well. I think obviously the difference between something like the Lilia is Lilia can skirmish, unlike the Carthus,
Yeah.
less susceptible to getting invaded, and a big sleep can just decide a fight. Like the Requiem, yeah, it's powerful. We can either poke a team out before they even think about going for the fight, or kind of come down to like decide the fight. But Lilia jumps in, gets a big Q off on multiple people, puts everyone asleep. Suddenly that fight is just completely and utterly done. We're seeing a couple of things come through here as the Jin Karma has been locked in for Guarp, and we're seeing the Nautilus getting locked in the bot lane. So a lot of these teams still putting a bit of presence and a little bit of attention on to these kind of more engaged supports. In the Pike, we actually did see it mid last week. I think it was Nativz who pulled it off actually in the first
Yeah.
game.
It was the combo, right? The Nautilus Pike combo with the double hooks. And I mean, I think Rile was picking. I'm not sure if he was blind picking. I think he was picking it into the Lucian actually, but he didn't care at that point. But now it seems like he's gonna give a bit more respect on his side of Guarp. Guarp. We have so many different pronunciations for this team, but I mean, I love it. With the Kalista actually coming in, I'm really surprised. I was gonna say I'm really surprised to see the Jin coming in, but I remember actually casting Tanlight Tom in their playoffs when he was just kind of blind picking Jin all over. So not really surprised when it's just the Tanlight Tom there. So he's just gonna be really comfortable on this champion, but obviously it's gonna give Yoppa and Clocks like a super difficult lane to play. Like obviously the Nautilus Kalista are gonna have so much all-in potential in this one, and Jin Karma really needs to have a lot of cover in this early lane, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting lane. Like we haven't really seen much of the Callista. I didn't hear that she was back off the back of the changes. I'm curious to see what the build will be. Obviously, things like Blade the Moon King, Kraken Slayer, very high priority or very high presence. I believe Callista build typically was the shield bow. So,
Mm.
a lot of sustainability because of these extra levels. Well, as you level up, you get more resistances. But I do feel that's quite a vulnerable lane bot side, at least vulnerable to getting shoved in and kind of losing that wave control. We're seeing the Graves get locked in here for Galen as well as the last bans are coming out. The Malphite and the Camille all ready to start us off for these teams. And I think, especially over on the side of Gurp, they are lacking in engage. So that Malphite, a pretty solid ban there on that front.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you. Definitely, it's like some sort of tool. This is what we talked about a lot in another game. Again, I don't remember the teams. I think I just remember they were playing Victor and some other like typical like long range care. I think it was Jinx or something, but they had no engage whatsoever. So it was just super hard for them to like maneuver these fights and get something going. So like banning out now engages is really solid bans for natives. Kind of the blind pick tops as well, which I assume Guarp would like to go for, since they're banning both the Camille and the Jone. Jone obviously could be a flex, but the Ari hover, we've been seeing this like kind of
That's a
a
lock-in.
oh, it's a lock-in actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is already. Yeah. That's good that you're keeping track on this bar that is going down permanently. I should do that as well. But I mean, this gives Ace the option to obviously get some sort of counter in mid in. Could be just the Lissandra, right? Could be a solid one. But then again, do you really want like double AP mid and jungle? Maybe not. But you have so much AD damage already with the GP and Kalista. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lissandra lock in here. But it's knowing really, maybe he just goes for the pike again. Man. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm curious to see what they are going to pick up in the mid lane. GP obviously going to provide a lot of wave clear. Obviously Riley not going to be able to, the Joppa on the Kalista not going to be able to do so. And they lock in the Aurelia here into the Ari. So we're going to kind of skill check them in lane and see what they can do with that. Curious to see what the final lock is going to be, because again, still the big weakness for Guarp right now is they just don't have engage. They've got, Pope, they've got harass. And they're looking just to go hard in this top side of the Darius lock-in. Obviously, that bleed being quite effective on this new damage patch or damage reduction patch. But even so, again, I feel even if you like storm through top, there is always going to be the constant weakness of cannon barrage into hooks, into sleeps, into a lot of kind of just CC and zone control team fighting versus a team that has kind of feels a little bit all over the place to me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, right? I mean, they're lacking the engage, so they're for sure not gonna. It looks like their comp is for sure not gonna try to team fight inside of Native. So it's just super important this game that Viggo Mopsen gets ahead on this Darius, because when Darius is ahead, it's like really hard to stop him. Again, though, Natives has. I mean, they have so many tools. Like if GP is ahead, Aurelia is ahead, or Kalista is ahead, it's just they have so many threats with the Lily as well. Like no one can really tank the Lilia, the E. I'm not sure what the name is of that, but I mean, no one in the side of Guarp can like tank that up. They're gonna need like Fred Spaghetti to like kind of rush the kills if they want to get out of that. But yeah, I mean, just looking at Native's comp, I feel like they can both play the silent, but they can also team fight. And looking at Guarp, they're like super forced early to like make sure that Darius and Ari is ahead so they can play the game. Knowing Galen, actually, I think this guy was playing super smart in their game against. Oh, it was Julbu's team. I don't, I don't even remember what team it was, but
You're asking the wrong guy, mate. I got a mind
yeah,
like a sieve. I forget
that is,
everything.
yeah, no, that's they were similar in that sense. But he was actually the one that like kind of make sure that the game didn't end like sooner. He lost that game, but he was kind of. He's kind of styling on Julbu, like making cross map plays, like making sure that Julbu was like face checking him quite sometimes, and Galen was just catching him off guard. So maybe he can do similar stuff on the Graves in this one, but I mean, I've talked to like a lot of players, and a lot of people are saying right now that like draft is like super important. That you can like, if you can get an edge in draft, it's like super. It's not easy to win the game, but it just makes you like. Obviously, it's just gonna be so much more comfortable, right? And while Guarp are on like kind of comfort champs, obviously the Darius count pick into GP, it's gonna be hard for Lundorf to like maneuver this lane early. I just feel like Nate has such like a draft gap. I wouldn't be surprised if Guarp doesn't manage to snowball the early game, it's gonna be really hard for them to get a dub here.
Yeah, I think snowballing is going to be a very important thing for the side of GURP. Obviously, attention on this bot lane. They're going to have pretty solid shoving with a Karma Jin. You obviously got the Ari versus the Relia matchup. I believe this is a little bit more skill matchups off the top of my head, but it's been a while since I've seen or played this matchup myself. Top lane, I mean, it's Darius. He needs to win lane. He needs to get ahead. We are into game, though, for our first game of the day. This is Nativz on the blue side, GURP on the red. And it looks like already potentially thinking about going for some early action here. Some aggressive plays in this bottom side. Potential invade could come through, but I think with the resets coming out, it's calling it off. Maybe predicting an engage or a invade from the side of Nativz.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think for sure, like they just look at enemy combo, they see Nautilus, Karista, like kind of the champs that are pretty decent level 1. But if they were to face check Guarp, I think Guarp for sure like could end up on top. So they're just, I mean, it's kind of playing it safe. They're just kind of betting on. It's kind of a good flip there. If Nates invades, they just probably just get rolled over. But honestly, obviously now Nate's gonna get vision on the top side. I don't think Guarp knows this. They don't have any lens whatsoever. Not on Galen, not on Viggo Mopsen as well. So this ward is just gonna, I mean, be able to spot where Grace is gonna be starting. And Galen looks like he's actually gonna start on the bot side, so gonna leave his bot lane alone in this 2v2, which is as you mentioned, right, super good like shove in for Timeline Tom and Fred Spaghetti. But if they're left in a 2v2, or maybe even Snilly can like try to get some cheeky early gank off, then it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be if they die once in this lane, it's gonna snowball super hard for like both sides. But luckily, Snilly is like starting solo on Raptor, so he's probably gonna path to the top side as well. So it's gonna be 2v2 here for in the bot lane for both teams.
Absolutely. Well, Raleigh just stacks up the passive and able to jump into the face of Quixie. He does trade Electrocute back to him. Lundorf just trying to grass trade as much as possible. Keep Vigo low enough that if Vigo even thinks about taking this 1v1, he might get himself caught out. So with the Corrupting Pot with the Trial by Fire true damage, is able to slowly but surely chip away at Vigo's health bar. But now Lundorf does have to be careful as he has got a level disadvantage as Riley's used the flash, comes in with the Blade Surge. Not going to be able to find the kill. Flash for Flash goes down in the mid side.
Yeah, I mean, really, really aggressive play there from Relay, but not managing to get that kill is actually going to be good for Quixie. Like, he still has the TP. It's going to be able to regen a bit with his pots, and when he TPs back, if Relay doesn't manage to get this wave into him, it's gonna be super hard for him. But then again, he's playing against Graves. He has a ward on the top side. He knows that Graves is gonna wanna be full clearing. So should be able to. But looking at Galen now, he's actually looking like he wants to go for something here in the mid.
Yeah, really needs to be careful. Has got that ward though, like you were saying. So is able to back off in time and kind of step away from any of the action. Clock's sitting on a ward himself, although we're aware that he was there. It's almost as if he can hear me. Takes. Gonna take down this ward, so Clocks can now threaten. He just instantly flashes out, throws the ignite down. Fred Spaghetti going low. Jopper eats a whole bunch of damage from that fourth shot and just tries to get a couple extra spears in, but he may just lose his life. A little bit too over eager, and now Timeline Tom will be able to pick up his second kill. Catches with a deadly flourish. Fred Spaghetti looks to chase him for more. Meanwhile, in the top side, Lundorf trying to 1v2 flashes away from the queue as Timeline Tom takes down Clocks. 2 kills picked up for the side of Guarp in the top side.
I mean, honestly, super well played from Guarp. I mean, I think it was due to the mistake of Nativz. I think they just thought they had way more damage there. And obviously, Fred Spaghetti has the Karma, has the Shield, has the Garden as well. The Rune Charge there really coming in clutch. Not even sure if it's gonna be enough, honestly. I think Joppa thought that he had heal in this game because he cleansed like the second that, like kind of the second before he died. And yeah, I mean, they just go down. They were kind of overestimating their damage there. And if you cannot really get the kill when you flash onto the support, the AD carry is just gonna keep hitting you. And that's kind of what happened there. I mean, they just chased them down. And now Joppa still has flash. It's not. I mean, it's not a disaster. I think if Kalista and Not were the ones to get 2 kills there, it would be super devastating for Thailand Tom and Fred Spaghetti. Now they would to like kind of keep this pressure as you mentioned that they have in this early lane, and now it's kind of up to both junglers who are still not gonna be doing much because they both kind of want to use full clear, right? But as I'm saying that, Lundorf, no flash, gonna get caught here in the top lane. He's gonna go down.
Gets a whole bunch of damage onto Vigo, but that will not be enough. Lundorf, very, very greedy to be playing that far up without flash, and now he's going to lose a big wave. No teleport available, so I think that entire wave will just go, and his farm lead that he was able to build up is now going to just completely slip away from him. A really bad loss there for Nativz in the top side, and with the bot side also getting a good start. We were saying that they needed to try and get a snowball early, and they are looking to do so.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's so good, right? I mean, the Viggo Mopsen getting 1 kill, Lundorf, as you mentioned, has no TP, so we'll lose like at least 2 waves. And this wave on the top side now is gonna slow push into Viggo Mopsen as well. If Galen wants to kind of revisit that lane, he could manage to do so. And yeah, they just are gonna get the consolation prize of collecting the first dragon of the game. This is what we're seeing is really OP, right? They just get an early Drake, they just manage to like stack 2 or 3. You kind of force your enemy to go for the team fight next, and this is really not what Guarp wants, right? They don't want a team fight in this one, but yeah, as you mentioned, so far so good. I mean, Viggo Mopsen now gonna be. I mean, Lundorf is really gonna struggle here, even with the Sheen, and yeah, I mean, Viggo Mopsen can just do it like this now. He can just kind of run him down.
Yeah, I mean, look at the damage when he gets the extra damage off from the burn. Does get a fair amount of damage. Vigo just flashes into his face. He's burning out to the bleed. The Q will land. And Lundorf will fall easy as you like. Now Clocks needs to be quite careful. He's going to get himself chunked out somewhat, but not going to go down.
I have to mention, we interviewed Viggo Mopsen actually 2 days ago, and he said that on Thursday, that is today, he was gonna show that Lundorf is the most overrated Danish top laner, and today, now he has solo balls him on the top side. This is what I like to see. When players, they're kind of shit talking, and I respect that, but when you actually, you walk the walk as well as you talk the talk, I mean, that's just respectable from Wiggle Mobson.
Is Ghost Darius walking the walk though?
Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess.
That's our philosophy for the day.
Yeah.
Philosophical question, that's what I'm looking for. But he is dunking Lundorf right now. 0-2 on the GP. GP very, very strong right now, and to be behind 2 kills to a Darius already, very, very painful. And Lundorf still hasn't got that flash up and available, and another wave gonna push into Viggo. So there is a potential world here where Viggo might be able to kill Lundorf before his flash comes up again if Lundorf doesn't play this smart.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Viggo Mobson right now, I'm just yelling at my mid and jungle to just come top insta. Like, there's not enough camps, I think, for Galen. But as I say that, Quixie kind of getting caught here.
Yeah, looking to get caught out, stunned up, locked down. Vanguard's edge in.
He's just gonna go down. I think he might have DC'd again, but that's alright, guys. I am doing analyst and play-by-play, but I mean, yeah, I mean, super well played there from. So I think really especially like played it super well. He has channeled his CC perfectly. Quixie didn't even manage to like ult out or even flash out, and he just gets taken down. Galen as well has to use his flash, still goes down, and this is kind of what I said. Like, I would love for Viggo Mobson to just call his mid and jungle towards the top side, and it looks like they were actually doing that, but. I mean, it was not nearly enough. Like, Nativz were on the spot there. They were really on point with their CC, and they kind of knew what Guarp wanted to do, which was go to the top side and make sure that GP couldn't really crush his wave. Now, Lundorf was able to actually crush this one, so he's going to be kind of chilling for now. Viggo Mobson obviously going to have the prio still in this lane, but I would be really surprised if Viggo Mobson would just dive him straight up. But yeah, looking now, Galen actually decides to start a Herald, which is just obviously what you want to do, right? When you have to snowball your top laner. You have prio, Viggo Mobson can do whatever. Yeah, it's okay. Viggo Mobson just can do whatever he wants, and this Herald should be a freebie. I think Still is just gonna take his time to keep farming. He has actually accumulated like 13 CS lead or something like this, and he's gonna be able to maybe even go for a bot side invader, because they're gonna know that Galen is gonna go for this Herald, and it just gives Nativz options to go for the crossbow.
Yeah, you're completely right. I have to. I assume he went down in that jungle play. My camera froze as Riley flashed the wall, and then
he died.
And suffering began for me. Well, luckily we got an hour break, so I can figure out what the hell's going on with my internet, and hopefully it fixes itself.
Maybe we are. It was destiny then to have a 1 hour break. It was meant to be for us.
Maybe. We'll keep an eye on the rest of this game though for now. Obviously, Herald in the pocket of Galen, so Galen can look to try and use that. I would like to see it top lane and just really get this Darius going. He's got himself a 20 farm lead, those 2 kills in his pocket. You know, bot lane, they're doing fine. They're already able to get themselves some pretty comfortable shove-ins. So you can see, as the camps are respawning, Galen making his way up, but this might just be Timeline Tom going down. Shut down as Jopper will fall to Fred Spaghetti in the meanwhile. Trading 1-for-1, 80 carry for 80 carry to Fred Spaghetti, able to shove in a single minion and deny that.
Yeah, really well played from Fred Spaghetti. Wave management coming in clutch. The 9-1. I mean, I thought Talon Tom would just get one tap there, and they would be able to walk it off. And even the Lundorf coming with the cannon barrage, I mean, just looked super solid there for Nativz. But just managing there to trade 1-for-1 is super huge. Like, if Yoppa survives there and they kill Talon Tom, probably it's like kind of lane over for them. Now we actually managed to get 1-for-1, as you mentioned, and gets the Gale Force while Yoppa is just still sitting on components. Has the upgraded booth, so he's got that going for him. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, probably this Herald should go to the top side, right? Because you really want to snowball Viggo Mobson, and your bot lane is doing fine in a kind of a hard matchup, I would say. Even though they had a shove early, it's really hard to like navigate this lane. And looks like they're not gonna agree with us for now, though. They're gonna go for that Drake, making sure that kind of denying the fast stacking of it. But Viggo Mobson, this guy's just going ham.
I actually thought he was waiting for it. He almost got the hemorrhage fully stacked. And that could have just been it. As Quixie lands the charm, but eats a hook in response, has to ult over the wall. He has got the bowling ball on him, but he's not going to go for a nip-nap yet. Right, he doesn't... Snilly, sorry, decides not to pull that trigger. And Lundorf, level down, pressure up. He's just feeling it now, and I actually feel Galen probably going to look to Herald around the spot side just to afford some pressure for this dragon. Snilly starts it up.
Yeah, and this could be where the game kind of breaks, makes or break for Guarp. I think if they lose this fight, it's just super unlucky, but Galen gets hooked.
Yeah, he's being hooked. He tries to jump back, slides out for the moment. Riley locks him in place and will finish him up with the Vanguard's edge. Tan Lane Tom able to answer out of a kill himself. 2 kills picked up for the side of Nativz. And Riley just feeling himself a little bit here, jumping in. Got himself the sustain, but he's caught out for the moment as Quixie can't quite get the Foxfire off in time. Gonna catch him with the inner flame from Fred Spaghetti. And Guarp able to answer out 2 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, super crucial that I think if I was gonna mention that if Guarp just loses a fight here when they are just supposed to be playing around their top side, it's gonna be super devastating for them. Let's see though if they are done, because it looks like not actually Clock's Hex Splash into the river pit.
Oh, they're jumping in. Didn't pay attention to that as Clocks is just dunked. Vigo misses the ulti over the wall. Fred Spaghetti very low HP. Needs to be careful for those damage from this dragon, but should be okay as Galen makes his way in with the smite. Secures that for his team.
Super chaotic like sequence of events there. I mean, Viggo Mobson actually, like, I didn't even think he pushed out his top lane before moving to that river, and then the fight being super extended actually gives Lundorf quite a big breathing room. Now secures the Triforce, but Guarp is just trying to make a cross pair happen again, but they're kinda out of tempo. Not sure they're gonna be able to crash this one. Oh, they are actually. So that's, I mean, that's really not lucky, but really crucial that they actually got that crash off. And yeah, I was a bit confused about what just happened. Viggo Mobson actually moving from his lane rather, and I mean, really like a respectable play, I guess. But if I am playing a carry, I'm just telling my team, come to my lane. I'm not coming to your lane. And I mean, in the end, as you mentioned, they get 2 for 2. They managed to get the Herald as well, and kind of deny that soul stacking for the Drake stacking for Nativz. So I mean, all in all, nothing crazy happened. The gold lane is like super even, and I think the happiest man in the game right now though is Lundorf actually like managing to kind of get out of that lane kind of scot-free, and now he has the Triforce, can kind of stabilize a bit.
Yeah, I mean, getting himself 3 plates, gets the Triforce. He's sitting pretty right now. Well, I say sitting pretty. He's sitting way more comfortable right now. Yeah. Probably still needs a little bit of help. Obviously, Vigo with the Triforce 3-0, always going to be a threat now at this point. And I wouldn't say this game snowballed out of control because the gold lead is literally 100, 200 between both teams. But Guarp obviously getting this Darius in a comfortable position, their bot lane in a good position. They're sitting pretty comfortable in that position as Quixie probably the only person who's not ahead right now over their role. And it's probably a fair part of why his lead is so big. Is Lundorf getting Ghost onto, gets himself caught out with the Apprehend, and they're just going to look for the dive, throws out the Cannon Barrage, but he is dunked and popped. Vigo will survive thanks to the Triumph. Flashes over the wall just in case anybody's about, doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, that's really fair, right? He has a 400 gold shutdown. If he were to give it over to Riley, I mean, it would just be kind of a, I mean, it's just really sad, even though they got a dive off. I mean, super well played from Guarp. They just know that even if Lundorf flashes out, they can just go for the kill. And now, I mean, this is just where we were saying he was sitting comfortably. That's a caster curse. That's our bad. Sorry, Lundorf. But now you're sitting without flash. You're behind once again, even more. I would be surprised if Viggo Mobson doesn't pick up at least a lot of components here. And I mean, this is just what we wanted to see, right? He is super stable now. The game is kind of in his hands. He can just basically dunk both Riley and Lundorf in a side lane. And now it's up to Nativz to like make something else on the bot side map happen, because they cannot touch the top side. No,
I mean, I don't know what they do there. Looks like Lundorf will get a topside tower. That would be the first tower of the game as well for him. So he's probably going to be okay with that side. But the problem is the 3 little red dots all running up towards him, looking to punish the flashless GP. Gets a slight slow off as Quixie comes in, catches him with the Everfrost. Too quick on the orange. And Galen will take him down. They've got Herald as well, as Clocks just about misses the hook. So nothing Nativz can answer back over on the other side. With the Herald in the pocket, I expect to see this go down, and this is going to get even harder, as they may just lose 2 towers, actually, because Vigo should be able to pick this tower up for free. It might just be mid tower now that gets fired on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say the same. I was gonna agree with you. I think that for sure that tower would have gone down there. They would get at least tier 2 tower as well. And this is what, wait, Joppa actually getting caught. It's gonna get run down. He still has the flash, gonna use it, but is it gonna go down here?
Yeah, he's flashed. He was exhausted, and Joppa now tries to see if he can turn around. Got the shield bow. Gets a whole lot of damage off and almost finds the outplay, but Tan Line Tom able to survive thanks to his karma and just about hold on.
Yeah, I'm really confused at what's to happen there. I think Clock's based, thinking that Yoppa could take down the top tower of his own, which, I mean, he was, but then gets caught afterwards, while, I mean, Guarp were the ones that kind of made a play on the top side, right? I mean, Lundorf, I think that death from him was actually a good one. Like, he got the tower, he got like 450 gold, like, he's 0-3, it doesn't really matter if he dies once more. And I thought it would give, like, Nativz an opportunity to go for the bot side, the cross map. I mean, Fred Spaghetti, Talent Tom, managed to get the recall off just crucial in time, so well played from them, but the Clock's just kind of basing for... I mean, obviously he based for a reason, right? It's not like he based for no reason, but they looked kind of strange. Now Yoppa without Sums gonna be difficult to play this next team fight, and it looks like Guarp is gonna go group for this one. It's gonna be a bloody one here for the third Drake of the game.
Yeah, it really is. I expect to see a lot of action. The Herald goes down, understandable. Have a nice day. Gonna be able to push that up, and I've actually noticed. Look at the Skinergy. Guarp using a lot of greens as
actually, yeah,
catching out on the weird things as Lundorf does find himself caught. The bowling ball lands onto Galen, who hasn't got that dash to get over the wall. They will be able to pick up this tower in the mid side, and yep, now just going to turn their attention towards this third dragon and the second for themselves.
Yeah, and this is the, I mean, this is the thing, right? When you have such a strong solo lane in Viggo Mobson, like I think everywhere he goes right now, they can kind of get prio, and if Nativz are not. I mean, I feel like they have so many threats in the team, but they don't really have like this insane front line that can like, I mean, at least face check for you. And since Guarp is first in the river, Nativz decides, guys, probably we're not gonna win this fight when Darius is basically unstoppable Demon King, and we're just gonna go for the top side, which is respectable, right? It's something I talked about 2 days ago as well in our last broadcast. I really like the teams that are, I mean, now playing in this split there. It seems like they have learned a lot better how to actually cross swap. I don't think this is gonna result in the tier 2 this time around, and might be just Viggo Mobson and Galen actually looking to dive really instead. I mean, Clocks is on its way, so maybe nothing's gonna happen, but again, I respect just the teams kind of knowing that you don't have to fight every single objective. You can look to try to do something else on the other side of the map.
Well, almost at that 20-minute mark, and we're having a look at the gold lead right now. It is a 1,000 gold lead, but the items in the inventory as well for the side of Guarp, super big. You can see the individual gold leads as well. Big stuff going on there, but the Everfrost, and it's the Eclipse and Umbral Glaive onto Galen, Triforce, and buildings of the not Divine Sunderer. The item is called Death Stance for Viggo there. They're set up for a lot of the hurt here, and
Lundorf.
It's gonna be quite scary as Lundorf. It's just not been his day. He throws out the cannon barrage, has himself a blast cone, but I mean, where do you go? What do you do? He tries to flash the wall. Everybody is in the wings. Snilly tries to put one to sleep, but Galen does not care as he takes away the kill.
Yeah, and this is just what gets so difficult, right? I mean, Guarp can just keep forcing on the side of Lundorf. He has no tower. Now he has no flash once again. It's just kind of a sitting duck. And it feels hard for Nativz to actually get some sort of cross-up going. I mean, they have 2 items on the Kalista now. Yoppa is actually super strong, even though he is currently sitting at 1-3. But yeah, I mean, Guarp is playing super solid on the other side of the map. You see Viggo Mobson actually not being a part of that play, but has managed to push in the wave, kind of. Just making sure that Nativz cannot really make a play with that wave. And yeah, I mean, it just gives Nativz kind of no option. And I mean, yeah, Lundorf is burning his flash as well. It's just gonna keep being a disaster. Viggo Mobson is having a field day on these stories.
Complete dunking. This is what Viggo Mobson said he was gonna do.
Yeah.
He's gonna make Lundorf look silly. I don't think that was quite the words. You definitely quoted it better, but he is making Lundorf look a little bit silly. He is slamming him here in this lane, and Lundorf just completely caught off guard time and time again. It is not his game, and he is still a GP, so he still has, you know, that cannon barrage is very effective in teamfight scenarios as Clocks just gets yo-yoed back from a lot of potential damage or even a potential death there.
Yeah, that ability seems not broken at all. You can just, it's kind of like get out of jail, free card. You just ult out your support when he's inting. That's nice. Yoppa though.
Yeah, he can bail someone out, but he can't bail himself out. Just about able to. Quixie tries to flash to reposition the Orb of Deception. This could be a big save as the Cannon Barrage secures the shutdown. Lundorf jumping back in with the barrel chain as well. Shutdown 1 for 1 so far. Fred Spaghetti does eat a little bit of damage. That was a crit Q. But Viggo mops in here with Flash and Ghosted enough to probably scare the rest of Nativz off.
Really respectable from Thailand Tom. Just knowing for sure he's gonna die, but doesn't care. He goes Gale Forcing on the Snille, gets the kill, gets the trade in the end. That's not something a lot of AD carries will do, let me tell you. They would rather just try to stay alive and try to dish out damage in any way possible. But Thailand Tom, really respectable there. Aggressive play, that's what I like to see. And yeah, I mean, it looks like Nativz are a bit... I feel like they're actually shaking a bit. I feel like they did not expect this from the side of Guarp. They're actually playing well. Like they're making sure that Vigopson can play however he wants. He gets pressure, he can just get prio, and then he can just try to either force on the side lane. That's kind of what I would like him to keep doing. He's decided to like group a lot with his team, which is respectable. He's still like this Dunking King, as you mentioned, and yeah, I was gonna talk a bit about now. We have 35 seconds up until Drake, but just at this point in the game, I feel like Snille, I haven't really seen him a lot this game. He has been trying to go for some snipes, trying to help his team out, but right now, just looking at basing off this game only, which is a bit of an exaggeration for sure, but the card just looks way more broken than Lilia, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think maybe that's just from the state of this game, but
yeah.
we'll...
Yeah, that is a respectable opinion as well.
But at the same time, the Karthus has been consistently better. Then again, you have a Darius dunking in your top lane. You have a Graves who's been very proactive on the map. Like, if you were playing Karthus right now, I actually think it would be over. Like, straight up, you would be so doomed right now if you were playing Karthus with these losing lanes. So I guess it's that swing and roundabout here, but we're into the action as the curtain call's coming out. Snilly's gone golden, but the Cannon Barrage is coming down with the Ghost as well. Quixie jumps in. Viggo Mopson secures one as the 4th shot will land onto Joppa. Viggo, ghosted, sped up, eats a hook, but he's going to look to just turn this onto Clocks. Clocks has to flash over the wall as they get themselves the stuns. They get themselves the lockdowns, and now Tan Line Tom chasing for more. Even more speed ups coming in. Apprehend goes wide as the Watermelon will slow Guarp down. And they can head towards Baron, though.
I mean, super solid. I feel like Guarp, they know that Nativz, they just want to kind of team fight, but they're so behind, they cannot really match them. And Guarp obviously playing the 1v1 comp, but as long as they're first in the river, which they are every single time, Nativz cannot afford to face check, and this is probably just going to result in a Nash. I would be really surprised if really Joppa and Lundorf get something going here, but actually Guarp are kind of low. Viggo Mopson half HP, but they're going in.
They are looking to go in as well. Barrel comes in. Viggo gets himself a 2-man apprehend. Big Vanguard's there trying to go for the hero play, but he is dunked. Viggo Mopson takes him down 6-0-2 on the Darius. It has been a masterclass from the top laner for Guarp.
Viggo Mopson has no respect for human life. That's what I'm gonna say. Wow, he just flashes in. I mean, Joppa still has flash, right? But it was just way too slow on that. Viggo Mopson gets to execute, then gets the kill on Torilla as well, and now this is like the first time in this game where we actually see like a sizable goal lead. Now Guarp has 4k goal lead, they have 3 Drakes on their shoulder as well, and the Nasher buff. This is exactly what we talked about. I mean, this is what I like to see from Guarp. I mentioned that I was so surprised by them seeing that they were so low in the standings, but now they're playing like this. I mean, this is what a top tier team in the Division 2 should look like.
Yes, this is looking way better here for Guarp. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head a little earlier as well. Nativz, they look lost. They look like a bit disrespectful. I think they expected, and I think we all expected, just looking at the draft, that they had the better team. They thought they were the better team just from on paper as well. They thought with the draft and the way that Guarp have been playing, that they were pretty much guaranteed this win. And, you know, Lundorf probably played this lane very disrespectful, constantly overextending, thinking, nah, Galen's not going to repeat gank me while I'm flashless. And that's exactly what happened. Sure, he got checked on that. Bot lane just kind of got out 2v2'd, and this disrespect is now costing them heavily as Tan Lane Tom getting the ultimate out of Joppa and just sidestepping that hook like it's nothing.
Yep. That's the definition of a cocky movement there from Thailand Tom. Nice to see. Actually, yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, that's kind of again, like they're looking super desperate now. They're kind of getting both of their side lanes pushed in, so they try to force something on mid. When that doesn't work out now, I mean, you see Quixie alone on the top side pushing in that tier 2, and Viggo Mopson has so much. I mean, they're pressuring all through lane, obviously, because they have the Nash, but it's super hard for Nativz to actually get something going.
Yeah, I mean, what do Nativz do?
Yeah.
How do they get back in this game? I don't think, you know, without a misstep and a really good engage from Nativz, they can do anything at the moment. I think they need to hit a couple more item spikes. Maybe when Joppa finishes up this Hurricane, hits 3 items, there is that opportunity. Big flash coming out there. For the side of Guarp, actually forcing Snilly's flash. Very big for them. But again, you still got the problems in Quixie split pushing in one lane. You've got Vigo Mopsen split pushing in another. And this Baron buff is just growing the gold lead wider and wider. We're now to 6,000 gold between these two teams. And Nativz just need to buy some time. They need to maybe get, you know, an extra item onto Lundor, finish up this Hurricane onto Joppa, and then find a really good team fight. Because at the moment, I think if they just go in on an equal terms team fight, they're going to lose.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that one. And the thing is, the problem with team fighting right now is that they kind of forced to. We have 1 minute for the soul point of Guarp, and obviously Nativz is gonna have to kind of contest this no matter what, unless they just really wanna play on the hardest difficulty possible, playing as an Infernal Soul. That would be really respectable if they did that. But as you mentioned, maybe they can get a pick off before the Drake happens. But I mean, Vigo Mopsen is playing super safe, actually ghosting there. Maybe not needed, but I was gonna mention that actually both teams are kind of. I mean, Clocks has the Nautilus, has the best engage on his team, but still actually without his flash as well. As you mentioned, it's super hard for Nativz to actually force a fight going, and I mean, Clocks is gonna get caught here.
And that's going to force a very early ultimate out, and Clocks probably wanted that ult for an engage. They somehow made that work as Quixie able to take himself a kill. You have got Riley trying to get a little bit off, but he almost gets caught out for the moment, and Guarp actually very, very heavily chunked, but Vigo, he's still healthy, he's still comfortable as the curtain call is going to chip away. What a thread! Quixie jumps over the Spirit Rush, and now the dunks are coming in. Snoot coming down as they're going to try and get Vigo to go to sleep. But Snilly gets flashed onto. Tamlane Tom heals up for a fair amount, and he's able to find himself a shutdown with a bowling ball. Vigo misses out, and now Lundorf looking for a little bit of revenge, but that 2-level lead is going to be so detrimental as Tamlane Tom will secure the kill. He might just burn down, unfortunately. No! He doesn't! Shutdown picked up, but Soul for Guarp.
I mean, once again, I mean, Guarp, they're just playing so well with their cooldowns. I mean, Ari there, Quixie on the side, they didn't really have vision on him. He just gets a charm onto Clocks. As I mentioned, Joppa has to force his ultimate super early. And while that gave Clocks kind of the engage he was looking for, I mean, he was just super low and was really nearly not enough. And Vigo Mopsen obviously wants to flank on this champion. When the fight gets going there in like a close corridor as the river, like the kind of the choke point there, it's just impossible for Nativz to navigate around that fight. And Guarp pick up the fight, pick up the soul point as well, and I mean, not the soul point even, just the soul. And I mean, yeah, it's just looking once again super solid on the side of Guarp.
It's looking a very, very hard uphill battle now for the side of Nativz. I believe it'd probably be something like a Blade the Ruin King next for Joppa. Going for this kind of on hit, a lot of attack speed. Callista, kind of the standard build on that front, to be completely fair. On the other side, you know, you've got that Force of Nature now finished up for Vigo, so he's even tankier versus these kind of AP threats. Mainly Snilly, the only AP threat. But obviously has, you know, the Death Stance for a bit of armor now building towards. I believe that's a Dead Man's Plate will be the next item coming out from Vigo on that front as well. You got the Maw on Galen. You know, they've all got offensive and defensive options now kind of coming in for a lot of these players for the side of Guarp. And with the Baron spawning up in 8 seconds, they've already rotated over. They've already got a vision in this area, in this quadrant on the map. And they're just setting up for it. And look at this Blast Cone setup. They might just jump over the wall and look to take out Snille. They've gone over the wall. Vigo has looked to find him, but Fred Spaghetti coming in, looking for the slow. Going to catch him with a tether. They're trying to put him to sleep, but he's going to get rooted. Everybody goes in for the moment. Fred Spaghetti takes a whole lot of damage, but the Apprehend will connect. And Snille will fall down as the dunk comes in from Vigo. Quixie able to jump away with the Spirit Rush as well. Jungler down for Nativz. He did do a lot of work, though, to Guarp's health bars.
Yeah, it could mean that Guarp are not being able to secure the Nash. It looks like they're just gonna recall. So I mean, really crucial for Snille. He goes down, but manages to chunk Guarp out, as you mentioned. And it's just gonna be 1-for-0 trade, which is, I mean, it's not good for Nativz, right? But it's good considering the circumstances. Like, Guarp are actually been so good this game at being first on every single objective. They're first at river every single time, which just makes it so hard for Nativz to play. But Quixie now has no Spirit Rush. Gonna get hooked here.
Yeah, does have the flash, but not even going to get used in time. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lundorf is taking the shots. The fourth shot comes in. Tamline Tom has been on point with these curtain calls. Absolutely clutch play coming out from him. Vigo, I believe he actually used his ghost as they find the lockdown and they find the follow-up. Joppa taken down, and the dunk will secure another kill here for Guarp as Vigo just continues to chase for Riley, but the attention may just turn towards this Baron.
Man, Talent Tom is literally baby reckless this game. Like, he's hitting so many hard Ws that it's super hard to hit the Kalista, right? Because she has so much mobility and movement speed, but he's hitting so many ultis as well, like crucial ones, actually sniping out Lundorf there, and it's just gonna result in a Nash. I mean, every single player of Guarp is playing super solid. Quixie, obviously getting caught there, not what you wanted, but overall he's just having like a super solid lane. He has not been letting really snowball onto him with the Ignite from Aurelia. And yeah, I mean, they just get what I would consider basically a free Nasher, right? And as you mentioned before as well, before that fight erupted, Viggo Mopsen going for the Force of Nature here, with the only AP threat really being the Lilia, but I would just say that it's not disrespectful of him, but he is so far ahead that it doesn't matter. Like, he's level 18 already, while really Lundorf only level 15. He could build, I mean, another MR item for all I care, and he would probably still win in that side lane.
Yeah, he's pretty scary right now.
Yeah.
Got himself the dead man's plate with that death stance. That's probably enough armor now for him to be a real threat. Yeah. I mean, I say a real threat, but like hard to kill and being a threat at the same time. You can see almost full build as well for Tanline. Tom in the mid lane. Quixie has got that book in the inventory, but Nativz, they gotta really hold fast here versus this Baron push from Guarp. They're full wanting right now in the mid and the bot lane. They're not turning their attention towards this tower, but they've already kind of started a little bit of work towards, and they're playing respectful because they know lots of Nativz are missing off the map and they know where they can't see. So they're just playing around that as if going, okay, they could be in any one of these bushes, so we'll just avoid those areas. And now Tanline Tom able to get himself out with the Gale Force. Quixie gets caught, has another couple of Spirit Rushes if he can get them off in time, but no, he can't. Doesn't matter because Tanline Tom landing the shot, dodging the Vanguard's edge. It's by the bowling ball, but Snilly will go down momentarily. They're able to lock him in place for the moment as Viggo Mopsen eats a barrel. They get the snare off, but no, the Deadly Flourish against the wall. It is the end of the line for Riley, who will lose his life to Fred Spaghetti. Guarp are just putting on a masterclass in this game.
I mean, honestly, looked good there eventually. Initially for Nativz, I mean, they get Quixie kind of fast, but Talent Tom, once again, the baby reckless. This is snipes Joppa out, even has his flash still up. And then it's another W after that, and it just looks like Guarp is gonna enter the base on the side of Nativz. I wonder if they're gonna be able to even play with this bot wave as well that they have currently. Looks like Viggo Mopsen is kind of feeling himself. Still like a 20-second death timer on relay, but Quixie gonna be up soon as well. Has his TP, but they're just gonna decide, guys, let's just keep playing it safe. The only way we lose this game is if we get caught or do something really stupid. So they're just gonna back out into Nativz jungle, which, I mean, probably right now it's actually Guarp's jungle. Like everywhere they go, it's just their territory.
Yeah.
So gonna start up this Elder Drake instantly. Actually, I'm curious to see if Nativz actually have time to contest this.
Well, they're coming in with the cannon barrage. That's going to scare them off for the moment, as they could just pull it out and continue away. The DPS is good from Guarp. Gonna have to be one hell of a steal. Not even gonna happen. Clocks, I think that was a mistake. And you have lost Lundorf for the 7th time this game. The only person who could win this game for Nativz is Guarp. And that would have to be one hell of a misstep, as Viggo coming in huge, got the dunks, got the follow-ups, and there it is. Everybody but Snilly has fallen to the side of Guarp. They can use the last of this push here to try and tidy this up. Tanline Tom will be able to finish up the ace, finish up Snilly, and finish up the game here for Guarp. They are just set up for success. An absolutely beautiful performance from Guarp.
Yeah, I mean, really solid from them. We were talking about how it's just super important as a team to build like kind of a momentum, and just getting a win right now off of Nativz, which I think is for sure one of the stronger teams we have in the league. This for sure gonna set them up for success in the next upcoming weeks. And I mean, I just have to say, you were mentioning it, the Ghost Darius. Maybe it's like a bit of a cheat code, but I mean, Viggo Mopsen was just putting Lundorf on the shelf there. Like, he was basically, I mean, he was just dunking him, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm literally dunking him. It was a very, very good game there from Guarp. I'm incredibly impressed by them. I think they really showed us, you know, that they're not one of these bottom teams, and they actually are capable to go toe-to-toe with the other teams. They recognized that their team comp needed a snowball, and they snowballed. They didn't let that scary engage from Guarp come through, and, you know, cause any problems for them. And at the end of the day, it was a very, very clean game. Anyway, we are going to throw ourselves to a quick break. And when we're back, we'll actually have some interviews with the players from that game, starting with Guarp. So we'll see you in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Grab a cup of tea and we'll be back with those interviews.